Hey, co-creators, you're listening to the Life by Design podcast, where we're talking about going from default living to intentional living, taking a closer look at the way you approach life so that you can establish a life that you love to live. My name is Natalie Vrill, and I'm thrilled to be part of your journey to a more fulfilling life. Welcome to episode number 7. Today we are speaking about finding answers within. So why tuning to your own inner voice is the best voice to ask for whenever you're looking for an answer. And actually the only voice that can know what's right for you. Because you are the only one who know where you have been, where you are in this moment, and where you would like to go in the future. Other people will have so many opinions about what's best for you, and they will feel like they know what's best for you, even though they actually have no clue. Because it's not so much about the action to take, but how it feels in your body while taking the action. So it's not an action journey, but an emotional journey. Life is an emotional journey, did you know? Life is about your emotional life, how you feel in this moment of time. And it's so easy to get lost in the advice from the external world, how to behave, how to live, where to live, what to do, what to eat, what to wear, what to read, where to work, how to behave, where to go on vacation. Like there is so many directions, advice from the external world, so many different opinions to please, and everyone has an opinion. Have you noticed? But to be honest, there is only one opinion that is relevant for you, and that's yours. When was the last time that you allowed your opinion to be the dominant one? If you're like majority of the people, you have practiced tuning yourself to others, to what other people need and want from you, instead of what you need and want from yourself. We are so keen to serve other people that we tend to forget to serve ourselves. The only person that we are 100% guaranteed to have for the rest of our life. If you have practiced to tuning yourself to other people, it might be a little bit of a practice to start tuning to your own inner voice. But as with anything else, the more you practice, the better you become, and the stronger that voice of yours will come forth. The more you start listening to it, the more you start paying attention to it, the voice from your heart, that inner calling, will get stronger and stronger. And it's important to understand that everything that you want in life is because you think that you will feel better in the having of it. So what you want is always a feeling. Remember, it's an emotional journey, not an action journey, because it's not the action that matters, it's how you feel. Because what you want is always to feel good. The trick here is that we tend to look for external answers in terms of how to live our life. We tend to Google, we read a book, we ask a friend, we find inspiration on Instagram. And of course, it's great to find inspiration externally. However, you are the one who needs to test it and then evaluate how it feels for you. What works, what doesn't work, what can I do differently? You need to be the one who makes it yours. Because only you can know how it feels in your body, and only you can know what success looks like in your life. So the recipe for success looks different from person to person, just because we have different expectations, different desires. We start on different places and we want different things in life. And things that feels good for me might not necessarily feel good for you. And when you're looking for the answer externally, you just get the answer that fit the general mass, but not specifically you. So it's just beautiful to remind yourself that we have a tendency to believe, especially myself, that we have figured everything out. Especially when we have an area where we are strong in. For me, it's my diet, it's the way that I take care of my body. And I for sure believe that I have figured this one out and that my husband should just follow along with whatever advice that I give him. So I think that I have the recipe for success in this area of life, and that we can just copy paste my recipe onto his life. But because he start at a different place than I start, he has a different desire than I do. He enjoys different things than I do. So my recipe for success is not his recipe for success. Same thing whenever we ask someone else for their recipe of success, they are usually very willing to give it to us. However, it may not fit. And this is really like we need to understand that we are all unique species, and only you can know what's best for you. Again, use the external world as inspiration, but you are the one who need to test it, you're the one who need to reevaluate it, and you're the one who need to implement the changes so that you can make it yours. Because other people are not you, other people do not come forth to be you. They have their own desires, they have their own intention, they have their own plans. For me, this is a hard one sometimes to understand that other people have different intention than I do. I mean, why doesn't everyone just want to have a strong and healthy body? Why doesn't everyone just want to wake up happy and be excited about life? Why do some people want to stay in bed longer and miss the beauty in an early morning? Because we are all different. Yeah, the beauty of diversity. It's a good reminder, isn't it? How diversity, varieties, different choices, how it adds more to the mix. And that we all have the freedom to choose. Isn't that so beautiful? We all have the freedom to choose how to live our own life. And thinking that you know what's best for someone else, even when it comes from a place of love, it is pure arrogancy, because you can never know how it feels for anyone else. And again, this is a big reminder to me, especially when it comes to my husband. I have that strong desire to believe that I know what's best for him. So just detach yourself from the external world a little bit when it comes to the recipe for success, and start to create self-trust that you can find the answers within you. So asking yourself first instead of asking the external world in terms of what will be the best choice for you. In terms of knowing whether it is a good choice for you, you have a perfectly designed inner guiding system called emotions. So whenever it feels good, it is good. Whenever it feels bad, it's usually not so good for you. And you can always tell whether it feels a little bit better or a little bit worse. Like those are basically the two indicators that you are looking for. So start to tune to your own voice by recognizing that you have an inner voice, and it can show up as an impulse to do something, a gut feeling, an intuition, and then just start to following this guidance. And maybe it's a guidance of look over there and listen to that song, connect with this person, go over there. And if you start to paying attention to whatever is showing up after you're following this guidance, you will start to see sign of you being divinely guided. It can be a song lyrics that resonate with wherever you are right now, a graffiti text that gave you an idea, an ad that inspired a solution to a problem. Maybe you're bumping into someone that knows someone that have a solution to something that you're working on. The more you're recognizing these signs of you being on the path of least resistance towards wherever it is that you would like to go, and that is your inner being that is calling you towards that is that calling from your heart, then you start to trust that you're being guided. And once that trust is there, you will feel more impulses to do specific things. So that calling will get stronger, and that's when you will have something that we call inspired action. So you will be inspired to take action, which will support you on your journey towards where you want to go. And we have differences between inspired action and required action. A lot of the time we take required action meaning we think that there is a certain set of action that are required in order for us to get to the result. And usually we don't necessarily feel lust to do the action. There is some sort of resistance, so we need to motivate ourselves in order to overcome this resistance and then go ahead and do the action. So the required action tends to drain you from energy. It's kind of like pushing uphill. While inspired action fuels your energy, it's going downhill. So it's very different energy between required action and inspired action. You want to take inspired action as much as possible. Say that the action part is vacuuming, is pulling that vacuum back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That is the action part. The inspiration to take action is when you start plugging the vacuum in and then you vacuum. So just taking the action for the sake of taking action is actually not helpful at all. Because if you haven't plugged the vacuum in, you're just getting exhausted and you think that there is something wrong with the vacuum. So you're also like losing hope. You are taking action in basically the opposite direction of where you would like to go. So inspired action is a much more powerful way of taking action than going for the required action. And if you are new to all this, of course, it will be a bit of a practice to start feeling inspired to take action. And I don't recommend you to stop everything in terms of waiting for that inspiration to come, especially if you have time-sensitive tasks, making sure that you are sticking to the deadline and do whatever is necessary to get them done. But start practicing with something small. Rather than jumping straight into action, can you allow yourself to wait for the impulse to take action? Maybe you have 10 different things that are needed to be done. Can you see which of the 10 that you feel inspired to do right now and go ahead with that one first? So knowing that there will be a pull rather than a push whenever you feel inspired to take the action. And it's that pull that is re-energizing you. Remember, pushing is draining you from energy, being pulled, being inspired into something more appealing into the future is always re-energizing you. So you want to take that re-energizing action. And it's very likely that whenever your inner being is guiding you, whenever that voice from within is guiding you, it will be on a different path than the path that you first initially planned. So we think that the details in life is for us to figure out. However, I always argue that it's not. It's for the universe to figure out because we just are unable to see the whole picture. Sometimes the worst thing that happened to us turned out to be the best thing that happened to us. Maybe we had a rough breakup or we got fired, whatever it is, but it actually opened up the opportunity to meet our dream mate or land our dream job, whatever it is. So would we choose that path ourselves if we were to plan ahead of time? Probably not. But was that the path of least resistance for us? Yes. Were we divinely guided during the path? Yes. Were our skill set being strengthening during that path? Yes. So we were getting ready to get ready. But again, we can never figure out all the small details of life, and neither are we meant to. So just trusting that you are divinely guided, taking a step back, waiting for the inspiration to come, that intuition, the guidance, the impulse of do something, and then following that impulse. The journey that your inner being is guiding you on tend to be quite eventful journey because the journey is life. The joy is in the journey. We think that all we want is the result and we want to have it now. So we want to go the straightest, most direct path towards that result. But really you came forth for the fun of the journey. And therefore you're being guided on a path where there can be interesting rendezvous with other people. There can be delicious conversation. There can be a beautiful scenery, whatever it is. You're bumping into something unexpected. You meet someone that knows someone that knows someone, and the very reason why you connected with this person might give you that single missing puzzle piece in the bigger picture. So it is impossible for us to know what is best in terms of each single step ahead of time, but it all makes sense whenever we look back. It's easier to connect the dots looking backwards, as Steve Jobs would said. And the details of life is not for us to figure out. So just trust that the universe is guiding you. Call it God, call it source, call it whatever you want. Doesn't matter what you call it, but just know that it has a role. And whenever you are trying to play God or universe or source, when you're trying to figure out the details, you're playing a role that's not yours to play. So, of course, make plans, but also be open to that the details of unfolding of that plan may look different to the details that you have on yours. Because your inner being, that non-physical part of you, knows where you stand in relationship to everything that you want, and also knows where all the cooperative components of helping you getting what you want is. So that part of you is guiding you to basically meet other cooperative components in order to take you closer to your goal. I think for me, this is such a beautiful reminder as well, because I meet a lot of my clients through boxing. So I am a boxing instructor, and from there, when people come and want to improve their body, there's a lot of people that also realize that they want to improve their mind. And if someone were to tell me that in order to get clients for my life coaching practice, I should become a boxing instructor, I would never believe them. But again, the details in life is not for us to figure out. Cool, huh? You can be a boxing instructor and get life coach clients. Crazy. This calling from your inner voice can be quite subtle in the beginning. So it just starts as impulses. You will be able to tell whenever you're eager to do something or whenever there is resistance. Whenever there is resistance, just wait and collect more data, more information before you take action. Because if it doesn't feel great, if it is not a hell yes, it is a hell no. So just wait, collect more data, and when you feel like you're ready to move forward, make a decision and do so. Your inner being is coming from a place of pure positive energy of liquid love and is always guiding you from love, both for you, for others, and for the whole. So in order for you to following that guidance, you will also need to connect with love, with positivity, seeing the value in everything that is going on in your life. And anytime when you're looking at the world from a different perspective, it basically just means that you have separated or disconnected yourself from the way that your inner being is seeing the world. And that there is another perspective of the same thing. So your emotion here would be your guide in terms of letting you know if you are aligned with yourself, with that inner being, or if you are at this point looking differently than your inner being is doing on the same situation. Alrighty, a quick summary in terms of understanding that the best guidance comes from within. So following your inner voice. Whenever you do, I guarantee you that things cannot go wrong. Quite the opposite. It's the only thing that can bring you to fulfillment, to happiness, because what you want is the feeling, it's not the result. Remember, it's not about the action, it's about how you feel when taking the action. Only you can know how it feels in your body when taking the action. So super important that you're trusting yourself, that you are using the external world purely as inspiration, as a tool to use, not a rule to follow. So following the impulses from within that says, look over there, go over here, engage in this, engage in that. Trust that your path is uniquely yours. There will be obstacles on your path in form of beliefs that you have been throwing on your own path. So limiting beliefs that keep you playing small. And your inner being is aware of all your beliefs and is guiding you around them, under them, through them, over them, constantly calling you forward to get to where you want to go from wherever you start in this very moment. If you're interested in learning more about how to connect with your inner being, that voice within you, that understand everything about you, know where you are in relationship to where you want to go, know every single obstacles on your path and how to guide you around it, then go to lifebydesign.ch and connect with myself. Till next week, enjoy listening for that calling of your inner voice. Trust the signs of you being divinely guided. Remember, the joy is in the journey.